This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, and I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Yo, Jason Glick.
Yep, and as I promised last time, here I am back to talk about Iron Man. Now, I wouldn't be doing this if the podcast had launched, on schedule 2 years ago. It's already been 2 years now.
Actually, it has been. You know how I know?
Yeah.
Because I registered your domain during Fanime 2 years ago.
God, that's right. I think you actually told me when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
enough with the nostalgia. We're here to talk about comics.
Yes, comics. That's right.
Yeah, and well, as you know, 2 years ago, Iron Man took the world by storm. It's beginning is one of the most entertaining adaptations of a comic book. Well, entertaining interpretations of a comic book character in the modern era. And now the sequel is set to come back, and all the previous buzz I hear is that it's gunning for the Dark Knight's $150 million opening, $158 million opening. But yeah, and because basically everyone who wants to see it, should probably be lining up day one to go check it out. I know I'm going to go see it next weekend with my buddy David, and I'm definitely looking forward to that based on all the previews I've seen so far. Okay, but what about the comics?
Yes, what about them?
Okay, well, we're starting. Well, see, the thing is with Iron Man is that he's been around for a while, but there aren't a lot of classic Iron Man stories. I mean, to be honest, there are really only exactly two. These are stories that just about most people will know about. You got the alcoholism story in Demon in a Bottle, and then you got the time that he went on a rampage throughout the Marvel Universe in the Armor Wars, trying to make sure that no one but him had control over his Iron Man technology. Yeah, and he also probably knows that, he's also got a rogues gallery that's about as deep as a kiddie pool. Because I'll tell you, you look at Whiplash on the screen, on the trailers with Mickey Rourke, and it's guys downright frightening. Half because he's got those laser whips, half because it's fucking Mickey Rourke, man.
That's right.
And guys just inherently frightening. Okay, but starting things off with Demon in a Bottle, because I had never read this story before, and before doing this podcast, I found myself obligated to go and pick it up just to see what it was like. And first of all, let me just say this story is almost as old as I am.
Wow.
It's originally published back in 1979, and it's brought to us by writer David Michelini, co-plotter and inker Bob Layton, and artist John Romita Jr. And most people know, of those three, John Romita Jr. is still going strong in the Marvel Universe today. And see, and look at this stuff today. It just feels quaint. You're going back to a simpler time in the Marvel Universe, back when it was had clearly defined heroes and bad guys. It's everyone knew everyone. Stuff was characters were crossing over all the time. And the general plot of each issue was, superheroes show up, they fight bad guys, they win, or it's to be continued. And it's there's a lot of charm to that kind of antiquity. But I honestly, to be honest, I can't really give a recommendation to Demon in a Bottle beyond that, because it's not a bad story, but it just feels really dated compared to a lot of stuff these days. I mean, you've got Iron Man's struggles with alcoholism, which they're treated respectfully, and it's built, and to the credit of the writers, it's built up. It is successfully built up over a couple of issues, so you can see that it's not something that comes out right out of the blue because they wanted to do a very special Iron Man comic. But looking at this, it's a good, the actual story, which basically has Iron Man doing, taking a drink and decided, hey, you know what, my personal life is so screwed up, I don't need to be Tony Stark anymore, I could just be Iron Man, I'm gonna go fly out the window. Oh, I forgot to open it. Yeah, and then then you see him screw up trying to lift a chlorine tanker and just causing a chemical spill throughout the city, and then just more fun self-destructive stuff until he's cornered by his girlfriend and basically made to realize just that, hey, this is what his life has come to, and he has to give up the drink. Now, it's a good story that shows off the strength of Tony Stark's character, and shows you that, okay, even like that, he's just like any true superhero, like he'll do the right thing no matter what the personal cost. But overall, it's like these days, it's like, it's like that's like my taste trend towards more modern interpretations of the character, and pretty much like everything I just said, you can kind of cut and paste about his David Michelinie's other epic, the Armor Wars, where Iron Man realizes that his technology has been stolen and has been like spread out through like several armored characters in the Marvel universe. So he decides to go out and start taking back his technology, making sure he's the only one who's got the designs.
Right.
This leads him to conflicts with government, with S.H.I.E.L.D., with the other Avengers, even Captain America. And basically it just kind of like sends his life right into the crapper again. Up until the end when he finally does get takes out that last person with his arm who's got his armor designs, and then just takes his life back and shows you who's boss. It's not bad, it's fun, but again it's comes from a much earlier much earlier and simpler time of comic books writing. This case, so it was like I was about 8 or 9 when this originally came out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's all right. So, but these days, let's see, Iron Man. While he's all about fighting the supervillains, he's also gotten a huge technological upgrade. This one comes courtesy of Warren Ellis and Adi Granov in Extremis. Yeah. So this is the first. This was originally 6 issues done by the creators after the Avengers disassembled, which like the Avengers got disassembled, but then they reassembled about a month later. Okay, and this one, this is probably one of my favorite modern Iron Man stories, because Iron Man, like he is a character that is innately suited to a writer like Ellis, because Ellis, he's all about science and the tech and upgrading human function in the modern era. So like, so doing a story about upgrading Iron Man to the modern era, it's like it works really well in his hands. Storyline also shows you why I don't buy comic books, because these 6 issues took about 3 years to come out. Because Adi Granov's computer generated art, while it looks real nice, he's apparently very, very slow about getting it out. But read together, these 6 issues are pretty entertaining. I mean, there's like a lot of familiar Ellis-isms to be had here, such as the character speech patterns and like the sarcastic tone that a lot of these characters take. But the ultimate upgrading of Iron Man, it's like basically like how he finds a way to put the computer technology inside himself. By way of this drug called by way of this enhancer program called Extremis. See, that's really cool, because like you see, I want Iron Man to be to be modern, to be ahead of the technological curve, and basically this allows him to like interface with his armor on a much deeper level, as well as any kinds of electronics in the nearby area. And it's cool. It's cool seeing him do a lot of stuff here. The problem is just that it's just these 6 issues, and I honestly wish that Ellis had time to do more with it, with his take on the character, rather than just like setting up the new status quo and just leaving for other people to play with. But but for what it is, it's still a very, very entertaining story. And out of all the things I talk about here, I probably recommend this if you're looking for a good Iron Man tale. Okay. Now, to be honest, I don't really keep up with Iron Man a whole lot because, well, it's it just depends on the character, on the writers and artists, writers in particular who take him on, and he's always kind of got the short shrift over the years, because really it's a lot Ellis, he's probably one of the only writers I pay attention to that's actually done a riff on the series. Yeah, in fact, the Iron Man movie is probably the character's cultural high watermark, because it showed you it took all stuff that was in the comics, distilled into a fine crystallized form, and then just let it run wild upon the screen. Of course, it also helps that you got Robert Downey Jr. absolutely nailing Tony Stark on there. But as far as actually trying to cash in on the success of these films, Marvel's always had trouble doing that, until they hit upon the idea of, hey, why don't we launch a new series right around the time that the movie comes out. That's what happened with Matt Fraction and Salvador Larroca's Invincible Iron Man series. Now, this series is essentially the point of the series is to or the first issue at any rate was to give people a nice, easily point of the first issue is to give people a nice entry point for Iron Man in the Marvel Universe. Show you what his status quo is like. Give them a familiar villain who's got ties to the movie, and then just let things run wild from there. Now the story does owe a bit to Michelini's Armor Wars, because Tony Stark's technology has once again gotten out into the Marvel Universe, and someone's using it to create terrorist actions. This person being Ezekiel Stane, son of Iron Man's old nemesis Obadiah Stane. And Ezekiel Stane's an annoying little bastard, and I enjoyed seeing Tony clean his clock at the end of this story arc. Leading up to that point, writer Matt Fraction shows he's got a great handle on the character, showing that because Fraction is he seems to operate, his default writing style seems to start at witty, then he goes from there. But he gives a great confident, self-assured Tony Stark, whether he's romancing the ladies, dishing out orders at S.H.I.E.L.D., and when he's flying the Iron Man suit. It's a fun take, and and even though you can tell at the movie that they are trying to capture the fun of the movie here, it's still pretty entertaining for what it is. That being said, Fraction followed the story up with something even better, and that would be the World's Most Wanted story arc. Now, regrettably, I haven't got to the second volume yet because the second edition volume is coming out in paperback until this Wednesday. But this is something that ties in much more closely to the current continuity of the Marvel Universe, which basically has Iron Man being deposed from his leadership of S.H.I.E.L.D. and turning over the reins to Norman Osborn. Which, John, what do you think of Norman Osborn as the head of S.H.I.E.L.D.? How do you think that bodes for the Marvel Universe?
A little odd. I don't know.
Yeah. Because basically the first thing he does as soon as he's sitting in Tony's seat, he brings up the superhero registry database to find out whose secret identity is, who is Spider-Man?
Exactly.
Who are all the heroes' secret identities?
Just what we needed.
Yes, exactly. And of course, Tony, not being an idiot, set things up so that when he did do that, he would the database would be his copy of the database will be erased. Now the problem is there's still one copy of the database going around, and that's in Tony Stark's head. So the story basically has him uploading a computer virus to slowly wipe out the database in his brain. But the problem is it's also going to take his mind along with him. Now, assuming it's like now, I don't know. It's like I personally would trust Tony Stark to keep this thing safe, but assuming you can get past that, suspend the disbelief that the best way Tony Stark could find to get rid of this database in his brain would be to erase his mind along with it. The storyline is a great a man on the run fugitive style thriller in the Marvel universe, because he's got, like, aiding him, he's got his former aide at S.H.I.E.L.D., Maria Hill, who actually gets wonderfully humanized in this volume, because she's, up to this point, she's kind of been like just queen bitch of the Marvel universe, and his assistant Pepper Potts, because while she's all about helping out her boss, she's never been too keen on the military applications of the suit. Tony then goes ahead and builds her like a rescue and recovery version of the suit, which she's just become her own superhero over the course of the series. But overall, it's just like a good action story, and if you are paying attention to how things are in the Marvel universe, it's like it only gets better. So, now, I'll admit that I have heard the second volume does conclude things really well, and much as I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how the cast was one step ahead of Osborn and his crew by the end of the series. So I'm looking forward to it, and overall, that's another thing I'd recommend to anyone to pick up as well. Okay, now speaking of creators that I like who've tackled Iron Man, well, the only other trade paperback I've got in my collection would be Iron Man Hypervelocity by writer Adam Warren, with art by artist Brian Denham. Now Warren made his name as probably let's just say Adam Warren was an otaku before the rest of us even knew what the word meant. Like, he got to start drawing the American edition of the Dirty Pair at Dark Horse, and he's since taken his manga style art do a lot of other creations for DC, Wildstorm, and Marvel, and he's also has a huge tech fetish as well. So Iron Man would seem to be an ideal take for his character, for his storytelling abilities as well. Now, that being said, Hypervelocity is a very, very dense read that has basically Warren just cramming as much story as he possibly can, and just about every page. I mean, it's kind of like the polar opposite to a lot of the decompressed stylings that a lot of Marvel comic books take these days, and it's interesting because but the thing is, a lot of this stuff just kind of feels like he's elaborating on a lot of Marvel technological minutiae right here. It's like talking about all the drugs used to keep S.H.I.E.L.D. agents running, all the technology that's at their disposal. It's as well as all the secret mecha underground of the Marvel universe as well. I mean, it's an interesting story because it doesn't actually star Iron Man; it stars his armor. Because basically the storyline starts with Stark unveiling a program that would allow is copying his brain rhythms and would allow the suit to still run while he's incapacitated. Naturally, he gets incapacitated, and the suit is forced to go on the run and save his life. Now, it's like assuming that you're not overwhelmed by all the information that Warren is throwing at you, and as well as a lot of the oddity of a lot of this stuff. It actually does work pretty well, especially when it turns the usual touchstone of Iron Man. Oh, he's got to take a drink again. It's no, but I used to be an alcoholic. But it turns that moment of his defining characteristic of he used to be an alcoholic, but now he's not, and turns that one moment of failure into just like him showing that, hey, you know what? I beat you at the end. So it's an odd book, but it's still pretty entertaining. Like, assuming you're in the mood for like a very dense, very tech fetishistic look at the character. And as far as that goes, that's all I've got. Because, well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still waiting. Like I said, I'm looking forward to reading the rest of Matt Fraction's run on the series, because I've heard nothing but good things about it. And as of right now, well, Iron Man's busy making nice with the rest of the Marvel Universe, because after he became director of S.H.I.E.L.D., like after this whole Civil War arc, he just basically pissed off everyone by saying, "Oh yeah, you need to register with the government." And then Captain America going, "Nope, sorry, got civil liberties right here." And then like that's whole Civil War thing in a nutshell. But now Marvel's getting back to like having all the superheroes fighting together, playing nice. Good guys are going to be good. Bad guys are going to be bad, and everything will be right with the world, and everyone's going to start buying our comics on masse again. That ain't going to happen, but hey, it's like more power to Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But in the meantime, the rest of us are just going to do the sensible thing, and we're going to go watch Iron Man 2 this Friday.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
And be entertained by Robert Downey Jr.'s amazing transformation.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, and like I said, probably look forward to me talking it up with Jess, Sebastian, and the rest of the podcast for Old Men Crew once we meet up again.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. And that note, gonna call it a night, people.
All right. Later, guys.